Hello gentlemen, welcome back to the Jay Butler Shoe Care series. In this video, we're going to discuss cleaning and polishing your leather shoes. My name is Justin Jeffers. I'm the founder here at Jay Butler. I'm also going to be your guide through today's video. Now, if you haven't heard of us, Jay Butler is a men's loafer and leather goods brand. We sell our shoes direct to you through our website, and we specialize in loafers in particular, such as our Cromwell penny loafer you see here, or our Millbank bit loafer, which you also see. We have some other loafers on our website, as well as the shoe care products you see here, and an assortment of other accessories like scarves, knit ties, and other leather goods like belts and wallets. We have an assortment of shoe care products and tools here that we're going to use in the video. We're going to start with the cleaning agents, which Renomat is from Saphira. It's a rather aggressive cleaning agent. We're not going to use it in today's video because neither pair of shoes are dirty. The caramel penny loafers are actually brand new, but the black bit loafers have been worn quite a bit, but they're in decent shape. The Renovator is a wonderful product from Saphira. It's a cleaning agent as well as a conditioner, so it will help restore moisture and it will nourish the leather to give it a nice supple feel. Following that, we also have a leather balm, which you can use. It's an optional product. We're not going to use it in this video because we're using the Renovator and because we're using the cream polishes, but it is a good thing to have in your assortment if you just need a quick kind of top off of the leather if it's a little dry. Now, moving on to the cream polishes, we have three different ones here. We have a neutral, a light brown for the caramel, and a black for the black shoes. You can use neutral on all colors, so if you only want to get one cream or wax, go for the neutral because it will go in everything. Next, we have a black wax. The wax is used to really bring up a higher level of shine than you're going to get from the cream polishes. The wax will also leave a protective layer on the leather, which will help water bead off and repel stains slightly. It's not waterproof by any means. It's slightly water resistant. I'll make the distinction there. Moving on to a couple of tools. I keep a pretty simple assortment of tools when I clean my shoes. I have a buffing brush, which I can use not only to dust and clean off the shoes, but also to remove excess polish, renovator, wax, you name it. It just helps bring up the shine and leave a better looking shoe. To apply the waxes, the renovator, the Renomat, the cream, you name it, I have a simple cut up white t-shirt. I like to use a white t-shirt. Some guys like to use a dauber brush. I have just found this to be easier and to give me better control. And then lastly, we have a buffing cloth, which you can use with wax if you really want to get a higher shine. Let's now move on to actually cleaning and polishing the shoes. We're going to start with our Saphira Renovator, then we're going to go into our cream polish, and then we're going to go into our wax polish. Along each step of the way, we're going to let the shoes rest for a few minutes and also buff them to remove any excess product. What I'm going to do is to leave the right shoe of each pair plain. We're not going to touch it, but the left shoe, we're going to apply all of these materials and products to. And so we have a kind of a before and after. We're going to see is a cleaner, a richer, a more supple looking shoe. And that's probably really the look you want. When we deliver our shoes, we actually leave them unfinished. We don't apply a high shine because we know that not all of our customers want a shine on their shoes. So we leave it up to you to apply that if you want. So hopefully this will help you do that. Now, let's first start off with the Renovator. Very simple, just wrap the cloth around your finger, and I'm going to hit the left shoe of each shoe. Now, it's very simple. You just lightly apply it and you let the product do most of the work. And the leather, you'll notice, will absorb the Renovator or whatever other product you're massaging into the leather. And you don't need a ton, but you do want to make sure you get all the surfaces, all the threads, all the seams. Leather is a material that is made and tanned to take a lot of abuse and to take a lot of wear. So you don't really need to worry about damaging the leather using any of these products. They're all perfectly formulated to work well with a calf or a cow leather. Now, do not use the products on suede, which we can cover suede care in another video. And in addition, some of these products I would not recommend using on exotic leather like alligator or snake or lizard. But again, that's covered in another video, which I hope you guys will watch if you need to. So let's move on to the black shoes. Again, we're just gently massaging in the Renovator into the leather. You can tell the leather is a bit dry, hasn't been conditioned or taken care of. It's been a long time since I've really taken care of these shoes, really given them a full proper polish. With the bit loafer, you want to make sure that you get the area underneath the metal bit. That is leather too, and the metal bit rubbing on it all the time does cause wear. And don't worry about getting any of the Renovator or any other products on the actual metal bit. You can just wipe that off at the end. Great, so that's step one. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna let the renovator absorb into the leather. We're gonna let it dry out. So let's give it, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. Then we're gonna come back to it, buff it off, and then move on to the cream polish. Now that the renovator has been absorbed into the leather, I'm just gonna quickly buff it off to see if there's any excess material or excess product. You're gonna see a slight shine start to emerge, but we're certainly not done. I definitely recommend applying a cream, and if you would like a wax polish to the shoes, the renovator is really just the first step in the process. Now, while I'm kind of buffing these off and getting prepared for the cream application, I do want to talk briefly about the reason for cleaning and polishing your shoes, and that simply is part aesthetic and part financial. The aesthetic part is you're going to keep your shoes looking their best. You're going to keep them looking new, you're going to keep them looking presentable and professional, and in a shape that you may have expected them to come out of the box in. I'm not a fan of wearing raggedy, disheveled shoes, and I think most guys are not. Really, the point here is to keep the shoes looking good. Now, the financial side of this is really about taking the best care of your shoes and extending their useful life. And by taking good care of your shoes, you can extend the useful life by years, certainly by months, but if not years. If you don't take care of your shoes, if you let the leather dry out and crack, they're going to deteriorate quickly. You're not going to be able to wear them in 2, 3, 4 years. And a good pair of shoes like the ones we make at J. Butler, they should last you for years. The soles can be replaced, but the leather in the upper cannot. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of the leather in the upper. Now, back to the matter at hand. We're going to use some light brown cream polish, and it's not going to add much color because it does match the color of the leather quite well. You could use the neutral, but in this case, I want to give a little more richness of color to the shoes. So we're just going to rub it in here. And it's the same thing as Renovator. The product is going to do most of the work for you, but you do want to make sure you get full coverage. You don't need a ton of product, but you do want to get enough that you are getting an even application. Now, if this was a pair of shoes that I had worn a lot and there were a lot of blemishes on the leather, some scuffs, a colored cream polish is exceptionally useful because it will help cover up some of those scuffs. It will literally basically color in some of the scuffs. So in some cases, although a neutral is the most useful, a colored cream can be more practical. Great. Okay, so we've hit the caramel Cromwell penny loafer. Now let's get the black Millbank bit loafer. It's gonna be the same process. We're just gonna use black. And with black, it is nice because the black polish really does bring out the richness of the color, and you can really get a nice shine. So again, you don't need a ton of product, and we're just gonna kind of massage it into the leather. You already see a deeper, darker black developing, at least I do. And as it is often the case, you don't see as much of a difference in the video as you do in person. So anything you're seeing, whether now or along the way, it's gonna be a better result in person when you do it yourself. Again, you wanna make sure to get underneath the bit, get full coverage, even full coverage. Make sure you get all the leather. The cream not only does add color, but it also does nourish the leather and also can help you bring out a shine. So I really do believe in covering the entirety of the upper. Get along the edges, get along the seams, the stitching, all that. Get along the heel. There are some areas of the shoes that you will often find wear more than others. If you drive a lot, you'll see a lot of wear on the back heel. And if you walk a lot, you may see some extra wear on the toes here. So that's it. We applied the cream polish to both shoes. We're gonna let them set for a few minutes, and then we're gonna buff it out. Same thing as before with the buffing brush, you just hit the entire shoe. You don't have to apply a lot of pressure, but it is good to get a good velocity and a good speed. And this will help wipe excess product from the shoes. Okay, great. And then now let's get the black ones. Now, if you really want, you could use 2 different color brushes, which you probably should for brown and black. Because this is a pretty new brush and I don't use it that often, I'm going to use the same brush. But if you're doing it at home, I would recommend having 2 different brushes. Great. But you can start to see a little difference. Now the cream will add some shine, but not a lot. So you can see a little bit more shine on the left shoe than you can on the right shoe. It's not significant, but it's enough, it's noticeable. So to really get a higher level of shine, you have to use a wax polish. Now, that's not for everybody. I actually typically don't use a wax polish on my loafers. On my dress shoes, I do, and on my dress boots, I do. But on my more casual loafers, my penny loafers, my bit loafers, I won't usually use a wax polish. However, in effort to cover all of our bases in this video, we are going to use a wax polish. We're going to use a black one for the black shoes and then a neutral one for the caramel shoes. A couple things to keep in mind with the wax polish. It's really the same process as we had before with the cream polishes. The only slight thing I would add is sometimes it's nice to have a little extra water, or just a little water, because you can help use the water to massage the wax into the leather. It provides a little bit of lubricant. And again, you're just simply massaging the wax into the leather, and you want to let the product do the work for you. You want to get small, even circular motions. You want to get full coverage. Some guys do like to put special emphasis on the heels and on the toes, especially in dress shoes. But with casual loafers, I think a more even shine across the entire shoe is a little better look. And as you apply the wax, the leather will look kind of cloudy almost. That's fine. We're going to buff it off in a few minutes once it's had a chance to dry. You don't need a ton of product, just enough to get a nice coating on the leather. Any excess, we're going to wipe off. We're going to buff off in a few minutes. Great. Caramel's done. As I said before, we are going to use a black for the black shoes. And this again is going to help us get a nice, rich, dark, Darth Vader-esque black, if you will. Or Darth Maul, depending on your preferred Sith Lord. Same thing as with the neutral. On the caramel, you just massage the wax into the leather. Let the product do the work for you. Use a little bit of water. And we're almost done. Great. So that's it. We've applied the Renovator, we've applied the cream polishes, and we've now applied the wax polish. There's only one step remaining, that's to buff out the wax. But before doing that, we're gonna let the shoe sit for 15 to 20, 30 minutes. With wax, you can actually let it sit overnight if you want to. It's not gonna damage the leather. But in my case, I don't care as much about getting a high shine. I'm just gonna let it dry for about half an hour, then buff it off. Same as before, get out the buffing brush. And you wanna get a nice pace, and you're really gonna start to see that shine come out now that the wax is on there. Make sure you get the heel, especially the vamp. That's what you're looking down at when you wear the shoes. Looks real nice. Now for the black. Make sure you get on the bits, the heel, the size, everything. Now with the bit loafers, you do need to be mindful of one more thing, that is the bits themselves. You probably got some Renovator, some cream, some wax on them. You can just wipe them down real quick, get any excess stuff off of them to bring back that shine. So you want to make sure you get that. And sometimes you even need to kind of hit underneath the bit. Make sure you get any excess wax out of there. Bit looks good. So let's compare and contrast. The left shoe has a noticeably higher level of shine than the right shoe. And then same with the bit loafers. Higher level of shine. It's a deeper, richer, darker black. Very nice look. Now that the left shoe is done, I'm gonna go take care of the right shoe for both of these pairs so that when I wear them, they look consistent and even. Not one shoe looks good and the other shoe doesn't look quite as good. That's not the look I'm after. I hope that you realize this is a rather easy thing to do. Conditioning, cleaning, and polishing your shoes. You can do it at home. Work time, it only takes 10, 15 minutes, plus the time waiting in between the steps for the different products to dry. In terms of the cost, it's not that expensive. The cost of a couple of shoe shines. You can get a cream, a wax, a Renovator, and a couple brushes for, 30, 40 bucks. And then you can do it on your own time, which is nice. I find it quite therapeutic to take care of my shoes. A lot of other guys do as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it was informative. I hope you found it useful. If you have any questions, Please sound off in the comments if you want to get a discussion going. If you'd like to talk privately, send us a DM on Facebook or Instagram at jbutlershoes. You can, of course, also email us at help@jbutlershoes.com. To refresh, everything you saw here you can get on our website. All the Saphir products, which are the best in the business, at jbutler.com, and of course the loafers. Also at jbutler.com, we have our Cromwell penny loafer in caramel. We also offer it in 8 or 10 other colors. And then we have our Millbank bit loafer with the gold bit. We also offer it with a silver bit. Again, in about 10 to 12 different colors there, including alligator and ostrich leathers. Again, my name is Justin Jeffers. I'm the founder here at J Butler. You can visit us anytime online at jbutler.com. Thank you all for watching. I look forward to seeing you next time.